All right, welcome back. This is, if it's not my favorite, it's close to it. As far as what you're going to learn is very valuable. And it's one of my favorite topics, talking about private money and private lender characteristics. And you see, I picked that picture of that old couple because that's your private money lender. That's what he's going to look like. So you can just see in that guy's face how much experience they have. But let's get into the characteristics of private money. Previously, we identified some of the most valuable real estate investment financing options, available, and we discussed the characteristics of two national brokers and local hard money lenders, probably a little bit longer than we should have. In this lesson, we take a closer look at the third and clearly my favorite option to finance real estate investment, and it will be yours too. Trust me. As far as I'm concerned, this lender should be everyone's huckleberry. Once you learn how to identify, locate, and interact with this type of lender, they may very likely become your lender of choice too. Let's take a closer look at private lenders, shall we? Okay, number one. Private lenders are emotionally tied to their money. They're tethered right to it because they've been working all their life for this money. They really care deeply. Not that people don't. I mean, everybody cares deeply about their money. But these guys are generally retired. And this is what they're going to make. They're going to pay their bills for the rest of their life on. So they're going to be cautious. They're going to be slow. They're going to be limited in their exposure. Just get used to it. But what they're chasing is a higher return. Rather than put their money in a bank, in a CD where they earn 0.5% or something silly like that, they're trying to get a higher return on their investment. Number two, private money lenders are usually lending their nest egg. They've worked their entire life for it. So this is what they've got. This is the result of their entire working career, is in this nest egg. This is a great one. They're usually accountable to a Mrs. Private Money Lender. And I wrote in your text that sometimes this can get a little thorny, and it can. Because loaning out the nest egg money was probably not Mrs. Private Money Lender's idea. It was probably Daddy's idea. And he's going to have to take responsibility for everything. Sure, Mama's going to enjoy the money coming in, but the first loan that you make with this guy, that he makes for you, don't be surprised if he calls you 3 times a day wanting to know how the sale of the property's going. And if you don't feel like you have the temperament to deal with that, don't take their money. Just don't. Pass it up. Let someone else who does have the temperament to deal with 3 or 4 phone calls a day. Now, it's not going to be forever, and it's not going to be for every deal. But initially, when you start out, you got to start somewhere. And during that first loan, you're almost going to feel like you're related to the guy who's going to call you so much. So most private lenders are conservative in nature. It's because they're older and they're retired. So they're mostly conservative. You can get some sense of their conservative when you meet with them, and you have to meet with them before you borrow from them. Because you can ask them questions like, what did you do as a young man? How did you get your money? And for example, they'll be much more likely to be a conservative lender if they were, say, an engineer versus a bank robber. He's not going to be too conservative at all. Okay, so again, they're simply seeking an increased ROI. Private lenders are in the game simply to increase their ROI over other forms of investment. They're not happy with the stock market. Maybe they had a bad experience. I don't know. But they generally like to keep liquid, and they want to keep their money in the bank, and they want it working for them. And here's probably one of the bigger problems with private money. Private money investors also bring with them a few challenges. The first challenge is that they, as a general rule, don't have access to as much money as hard money guys. Private lenders sometimes have to bring in or transfer money to lend. Also, private lenders are not in business as opposed to hard money guys. And sometimes it's not uncommon to see your financing go on vacation. That's right. You can call up Ray. I'm ready to buy something. I need to close in a week. Well, I'm sorry, Alfred. I'm going on vacation, and so's my money. I'll be back in 3 weeks. I'll call you then. Is that okay? Yes, Ray. Thank you. That's okay. But these lenders are the easiest to work with. And once you've developed a borrowing history with them, they'll be your greatest ally in your quest for real estate success. Now, I heard another guy on YouTube the other day. He was commenting on private lenders. And he said how private lenders are relationship based. Truer words were never spoken. But you don't have to have a relationship with them currently to get them to loan you money. What this gentleman was inferring on YouTube is that you had to have a relationship, had to be relationship based, like your uncle or your aunt or your best friend's mother, something like that. When I say it's relationship based, it's not borrowing from people that are relations. It's borrowing from people that you build a relationship with. It's learning how to locate private lenders that have loaned money to your competition or to investors that you don't even know, and build the relationship with them. All the private lenders I ever used were never members of my family. They were never members of my inner circle. They were all just regular Joes and Pams that I met or I sought out because I saw they loaned money to other investors. And I cultivated the relationship with them. Okay, I'm going to read from the text and comment while we finish up this section. Now, here's the real trick. Most brokers are gone. Hard money lenders are expensive and a dime a dozen. You'll be able to identify at least 5 hard money lenders in every real estate investment club you attend. So you ask, how am I supposed to find private lenders? They don't generally attend real estate investment club meetings and certainly don't carry signs, private lender, or hand out business cards. But if I could show you the names and locations of every local real estate lender, mom and pop lender, hard money lender, private money brokers, all of them, would you be interested? Of course you would. But the question is, how much do you think this kind of information might be worth? Well, it's value to you as whatever you paid for the course. Because I promised to show you the location of every local hard money, private money, mom and pop, you name it. Anybody that originates a mortgage, I'll show you how to find them, and I'll tell you what to say to them and teach you how to build a relationship so that they can loan you money. After all, that's what we're after here, right? Well, good. Right on time. My segue to the next slide. I'll see you there.